MBR, nothing but rants, show where I find topics that I'm rather passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I am hot about.
Nothing but rants. Swat.
Hot takes.
3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. You know Brooks finna cook, let him rain. Try to do it like us, but you can't. Stay the young, going dumb with the chance. Big plays lead to even bigger bands. What's up? What's the word? What's the play? What we talking about? On the scene with the team, yeah, we popping out. NBR, let's get it, let's go. Film guy, get on ready for the show. What it is, what it ain't, what's happening? We gon' hit you with the stats and the facts, man. NBR, let's get it, let's go. Film guy, get on ready for the show. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Hey, shout it end zone dancing. We about to start it up, this the anthem. That right, big rings got me handsome. Hold 'em up like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill. Highlight reel, let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here, back that back, net chance, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care, come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here live from Sanford Stadium. We're in the bowels, if you will. We're in the lower bowl right here. Just got done wrapping up press game or post G-Day press conferences with Coach Smart and obviously the players as well. We got the legendary Dean Legge and Ryan Curley walking around in the background back there. Shout out to Dean and Ryan. It was a good day. It was a good day to be out here and getting a first-person eval of this Georgia 2025 football team. I know probably a lot of people a little upset it wasn't on television. So here we are live from Sanford Stadium, hopefully to give you a good, rundown of what we saw. If you haven't already, head over to si.com/college/Georgia to get the firsthand observations via print. The boy Christian Kirby did a great job with those today. If Wi-Fi is shoddy, blame UGA Athletics. That's on those guys. I'm just kidding. It looks like we might be able to hold relatively strong here today. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, firing off in the chat as well. Let's starting with immediate observations. I thought in the first half, guys, that was as well as Georgia has defended the deep ball that I've watched in a practice setting, okay? When we start to threaten the ball vertically as an offense, man, that puts defensive backs in a real compromised position. And I thought in the first half, all of those DBs did a really, really good job of denying the football. Some of that started opening up in the second half. Wide receivers that got loose today. London Humphreys playing a variety of positions. I think Kirby Smart mentioned in postgame that Dylan Bell and London Humphreys are really the only wide receivers they have on the roster right now that can play a variety of positions. So they end up getting a much more larger sample size, rather, of reps during a setting like this. If somebody were to go down, a guy like London that knows all the positions can go out there and get it done. So a good day for him. I thought Colby Young at points today felt I don't want to say unguardable, but relatively unguardable. Something we saw from him last year as well. It seems these transfer wide receivers, as long as I've been covering this team, have been really like a year two pop. Year one, it's kind of getting, comfortable and situated with everything they got going on during practice and with the offensive install. And then year two, you really see that that jump. It seems Colby is very, very comfortable. And it also seems to me that Gunner, as a quarterback, his play style really fits what they have from a wide receiver skill set standpoint. This is a wide receiver group that I think is going to be far better. X and Z. I'm talking about the big guys. I'm talking about Colby Young. I'm talking about CJ Wiley. I'm talking about some of these longer bodied targets. I think, and Noah Thomas, I think they're going to be better vertically down the field, that 20 and beyond type of, threatening of the defense than they are, hey, we're going to route you up 15 yards and, within 15 yards. I think that type of role is going to be, occupied by a guy like Zachariah Branch and guys like London Humphreys that can really get open and do things with the ball in their hands afterwards. From a running back standpoint, man, they never run the ball a lot in these spring games. You guys know by now. The reason being it's to limit the amount of collisions that they have, right? If you just think about it, if I'm running the football, we're going to have a lot more collisions inside the box than we would if I'm throwing the football. If I'm throwing the football, the 5 biggest guys on the field are backing up. So normally during these spring games, man, in Georgia, you see 65, 70 pass attempts. I don't know. I don't have the actually. Look here. I got stats right here. I mean, they threw it. Yeah, they threw it 72 times today, guys. They threw it 72 times today, and they ran the ball. I mean, I don't know how many times. Let's see, 13, 17, 19, it's 24, it's 30. They ran the ball 32 times today. So they threw it 2-1. You know what I'm saying? That's par for the course out here. Some statistical leaders while I've got here for you. Dylan Bell, 7 targets, 5 catches for 78 yards, had a long of a 48 or 49 yard. I think that was on a reverse. So I don't even think that was a traditional pass in that circumstance right there for those guys. Bo Walker, 8 carries for 52 yards today. Ryan Puglisi, 5 for 22, used his legs a good bit. I thought Chauncey Bowens had some really good runs today. The stat sheet said that Bo Walker had the best day. I personally thought Chauncey looked really, really good. 5 totes for 38 carries for Chauncey. I will say this. Neither of the quarterbacks completed very many passes today, okay? I think overall, they completed 37 of the 72 pass attempts that they had today, guys. They did not complete the football at a very high rate today. Now, a lot of that, in my opinion, was predicated off the style of route that they were throwing, guys. They were throwing everything 20 yards and beyond. It felt like any other reception was right, near close to the line of scrimmage. I know everybody wants to talk about quarterbacks or wants to hear me talk about quarterbacks, so let's talk about those guys. It's very clear to me that Gunner has a command of the offense. Everyone that's ever talked about it this spring has talked about his leadership role and his command of the unit and all that good stuff. And that's stuff you want to hear from your quarterback position. I thought the most impressive thing that Gunner did today was throw the ball accurately down the field. I do believe this is going to be a run, play-action football team this year. All right, I don't think this is a team that's going to want to drop back in a standard passing situation 40 times a game like they seemingly did the last 2 years. I think this offense would be best creating and establishing a run game and then using those deep threats, big-bodied wide receivers down the field off play action. And you can kind of see the remnants of that, I felt like, today watching them in their G-Day scrimmage. I thought the best ball that was thrown today was actually from Coulter Ginn, the walk-on, 6'4", 220 pounds. Guys, I joked with a source today on the sideline. The reason they weren't on TV today was because Coulter Ginn would be the starting quarterback at Coastal Carolina, or Coulter Ginn would be the starting quarterback at Georgia Southern, or insert mid-major here. I think that guy could play for Memphis. Are we back up? I think we're back up here. We'll give it a second. We were talking about Coulter Ginn. It was a sail route. Look, they had a clear out from number one with a sail route from London Humphreys as the number 2 wide receiver. Coulter Ginn had pressure in his face, put his feet in the ground, and ripped a beautiful ball on the sail route. Now, great football, probably a sack in real life. They didn't blow it up, so there's that. I think that guy's really, really good. I don't know if he ever plays at Georgia, but man, that guy must love Georgia football because I do think there is playing time for him somewhere else. Let's talk about Ryan Puglisi. That is his first real exposure from a football standpoint playing in college. This is a guy that's done nothing but play in practice for the better part of like 8 months. He wasn't available last spring, guys. So this is his first real football. And you can see that, man. Like when I look for quarterbacks and whether or not they're calm or whether or not they understand what they're seeing or whether or not the game is too fast for them, the number one thing I'm looking at is their feet. Okay. At Ryan today, I got photos and photos and photos. And I guarantee you every single photo today, Ryan Puglisi is throwing the ball on his toes. Very toey all day long, very, like the brain's trying to do this and we're trying to play football. So I think once that gets settled, he's going to be fine. Look, I don't know when Ryan Puglisi is going to be a great starting quarterback, but I have full confidence that one day he will be. I don't know if it's going to be here. I don't know if it's going to be next month. I don't know if it's going to be this season. I don't know if it's going to be next season. But everything that I hear about him, okay, is that he is dedicated to making sure that he continues to grow. And it seems to me like he is committed to doing that here. Okay. I think when your head coach stands up there today and says the most important thing about our 2 quarterbacks is that they love the University of Georgia. And look, man, like that stuff gets so cliche nowadays, but y'all see the news. Y'all see what we've been talking about the last 36 hours, 48 hours in the world of college football. We're talking about a really talented quarterback who clearly he ain't in love with playing at Tennessee no more. Right? He's in love with the idea of maybe making $4 million. And there's a difference between those 2 types of football players. And that was a major talking point today in the post-game press conferences. Coach, like, what do you think about the nature of college football? What do you think about this stuff going on at Tennessee? What do you think about all this? And they've been preaching 3 words: fire, passion, and energy. You better have fire, passion, and energy if you want to play at the University of Georgia moving forward. I think it's not only a nature of the sport, but I think it's maybe something that they noticed lacked in their football team last year. Maybe there wasn't enough fire, passion, and energy in their football team. That's normally when I hear coaches really, really harping on one thing, that's something that they probably noticed was lacking the year prior. Let's continue with these. Let's talk about offensive line rotations. Looked to me like Bo Hughley got the start, if you will, at left tackle today with the first team unit. It was Bo Hughley, Micah Morris, Drew Bobo, Michael Unai, and then Ernest Green at right tackle. The second team unit was a mixture of Malachi Tolliver and Cortez Smith at the center position, a rotation of, let's see here, Juan Gaston at guard. How about that? Juan Gaston, the 5-star future, in my opinion, first-round draft pick at the tackle position. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we look up midway through the year and Juan Gaston's starting at one of the guard positions, whether it be through injury or just the fact that he's one of the best 5. He is a really, really good football player, and they have tremendous hopes and aspirations for what he's going to be immediately. Like this year, they think he's going to be able to play for them. I can't count on one hand how many batted passes Chris Cole had today at the line of scrimmage. They're going to rush him a good bit this year. I think they're going to have to rush him a good bit this year. Went down with a few injuries today. Dominic Kelly, a freshman, should be a senior in high school at IMG Academy, a corner that reclassed into 2025, should have been a 2026 kid. He went down with an ankle injury today and had an interception. Now, I think he looks really, really good. You guys know how much of a fiend I am for bow-legged athletes. That's a bow-legged corner that looked really, really good today and didn't look like he was a young football player. Quintavious Johnson went out with an injury today as well. Kind of banged up during today's scrimmage. I was shocked to see Joseph Jonah-Ajonye playing today. I mean, he wasn't just practicing, he was playing out there with a pretty hefty tape job on his ankle. I was told by a source on the sideline, JJA started practicing like this week. You know what I mean? He was limited all spring with a foot surgery from last year. They basically activated him and let him play today. I was really, really surprised. I did not expect to see 99 out there playing today. And from what I saw, it looked good and looked like he was taking a healthy number of snaps as well. I was kind of taken back a little bit by that. Who stood out to you at that edge position? You know, I hate to do this, but it's so hard to tell when you're standing on the sideline and, you know, apart from, hey, so-and-so caught a touchdown or that running back did a great thing, I'm kind of following the ball and following the action. So apart from a few plays where I was specifically looking at one individual, I didn't really see anybody specifically flash. Now, let me give you the rundown of the room, however. Okay, Chris Jones has put on about 15 pounds, I would say, since last year and has moved down to play edge rush or to rush the edge. As a former inside linebacker, as a high school player, played a lot of edge in high school early on, but moved back off ball because he knew that's what he was going to do in college. They've moved him back down towards the line of scrimmage to alleviate some of those depth concerns that they have at that position. I was stunned to see how thin and how much weight Isaiah Gibson has lost. If you've listened to anything I've said about Isaiah Gibson, dating back to the first time I saw him as a junior at Warner Robins High School, or a rising junior. I mean, he was still in sophomore classes going into his junior year. He was 250 pounds as a 16-year-old. I thought there was no way on God's green earth that Isaiah Gibson was going to get to college and lose weight. I thought he was going to get to college and grow into a 285-pounder, 290-pounder, like a true four-eye defensive end. He looks like Gabe Harris right now. I mean, it's not only because he's wearing 29. Gabe Harris has moved to number 0, but that's the type of body he has right now. If he's 248 pounds, I wouldn't be surprised. And that's a football player that I projected to grow into a 280-pounder. So still looks like he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on, as most true freshmen do. But, you know, there's that. I thought from a defensive front standpoint, they are huge. They are huge. I don't know if they have one alpha in the bunch. I think the superstar potential is going to come from Kristen Miller, who obviously we didn't see this spring. But, man, they have so many bodies. I already see some of the numbers popping up into the chat. Jordan Hall had a really good spring. It wasn't just a spring game. It was a spring practice time period for 44. He had a really, really good one. Elijah Griffin's going to play a ton of snaps for this football team this year. They really, really love what he is. Now, what is he? All right, I think he's a really, really strong, violent human being. All right, I don't see Devontae Wyatt. I don't see Jalen Carter. I see maybe like a step down from Jalen Carter. And if you're a step down from Jalen Carter, you're just the second best defensive tackle to walk the planet. That's not a detriment on that. It's just I withhold, hey, that guy's the next insert greatest player ever, right? Like, you're not going to hear me say, hey, I think Ethan Barbour could be the next Brock Bowers. However, Ethan Barbour is going to be damn good. If Ethan Barbour is Orson Charles, I think that's pretty damn good. And that's what I think he has the ability to be based off what I've saw today as well. Jeremy Bell had another good day. The Jeremy Bell hype is not false, by the way. The Jeremy Bell stuff, that's number 81, the walk-on wide receiver at the University of Georgia. He had a touchdown today, but I was told he flat out dominated their second scrimmage during the spring. So they like what they've got out of him, but I still am on the side that if Jeremy Bell's playing, that looks, I'm not going to say looks bad, but it's going to make me raise my hand and be like, hey, what's going on with the other guys in the room that, you know, y'all are a little bit more invested in. So should be interested to see what's going on there. What's up, Shafe? So yeah, we got that going on. Let's see who else was impressed. I thought the offensive line protected pretty well today. I mean, no like free runners. They gave up some sacks here and there, but nobody like, hey, we clearly didn't see that coming. And a dude just ran through an open gap and sacked the quarterback. I take that back. Adrian Maddox got Ryan Puglisi on a nickel fire. Another thing to be talking about there. Seems to me that Jaden Harris is still playing more of a safety role with those 2s and 3s, and Adrian Maddox is playing more of that backup nickel position behind Jonell Aguero, who I thought in the first half, Jonell did a really good job covering, all right, and running, down deep threats and disrupting the football. But Zachariah Branch got him in the second half. I think Jeremy Bell got him in the second half. There were the concerns that we've had about, hey, can Jonell Aguero cover on 3rd and 12? There were still some of those questions today, in my opinion, okay? Didn't play flawless by any stretch of the means. Did Zayden Walker play at all today? Yes, he did. He's got a cast on his hand, though. And you got to understand, man, like, I think he's probably like linebacker 5 right now. I mean, if I were to do a depth chart today, it would be C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson with the 1s, Chris Cole and Justin Williams with the 2s, Terrell Foster and a combination of Zayden Walker and Anthony with the 3s. I mean, it's the deepest position group they have on the team. I mean, it's filled with 5 or 6 guys that could play for insert any SEC team tomorrow. So it's a really deep position group that it's hard for any freshman to make, headway in, especially when you're a freshman who hasn't really played off-ball linebacker. Zayden Walker didn't start playing off-ball until I think the first practice he ever played off-ball, like in true inside linebacker, was the day I saw him in spring practice last year down there at Schley County. How'd Terrell Foster do? I'll say this, and Ryan, confirm or deny here. Did any one player make like all of the tackles this week? Like last year was C.J. Allen all over the field.
No, I thought Justin Williams did a pretty good job.
A Justin Williams shout. A KJ Bolden shout. So kind of your normal group of individual stars that we normally hear about, right? Like KJ Williams and Justin, or KJ Bolden and Justin Williams. Good shout right here from Ryan Curley. Justin Williams actually led the team in tackles today. He had 9. Zion Branch had 7, who, by the way, Zion Branch looks like a damn dude. Like, I know Zachariah is the former 5-star number 1 player in America, did great things as a true freshman at USC, but when they walk out of the tunnel, you got to say, hey, who the hell is number 2 over there? Who is that guy? And then you walk up on him, and it's Zion Branch. Had 7 tackles today. C.J. Allen had 8 tackles as well. So there's that. Looks like your punt return rotation, kick return rotation looks like a 3-headed monster of, I would say, Zachariah Branch. I would say Zacoby White. And the other one would be Dwight Phillips Jr., probably doing all the kickoffs, with Zacoby and Zachariah Branch handling most of the punt return duties for this football team headed into next year. I see some questions in the chat. How did Elias do? I don't think Elias recorded a catch. Had a drop touchdown from what I remember as well. Looks the part, going to have to continue to grow and develop. He's playing true X receiver at Camden County last year after it's a weird high school prospect like eval from Elias, because his first 3 years of high school, he's playing in a triple option offense, and really his best highlights come as a defensive end. And then you watch him his senior year, and he's playing X. He's like way outside, and they're throwing him go balls and fade balls and doing some screen stuff with him. And he comes to Georgia, and it's like, hey, we're probably going to need you to play like real traditional tight end because we think you're going to grow into that. I see my wife in the chat. Honey, my phone is dead, so I apologize for not answering your FaceTime a little bit earlier. That's on me. Shout out to the wife. What are we talking about? Oh, Elias. So here, I don't think he's a natural catcher of the football. I do think there are some, you're going to have to put it on him. I don't know if you're going to see tremendous hands from Elias Williams. On the other side, with Ethan Barber, as they call him on the announcements today, that guy catches everything. I think he caught one off his damn shoelaces today, to be honest with you. Like, he catches absolutely everything that is thrown at him. I think the future of, like, a year from now, guys, it's going to be Jaden Riddell, Elias Williams, Ethan Barber, and whoever they sign in 2026. it's going to be a really, really good room. It's not that it's not a good room now. I thought Oscar Delp had his best spring game of his career. I mean, they had 3 or 4 really, really tough contested catches today. So, especially, I mean, he had a catch in 7-on-7 that was absurd. He took it off the helmet of a defensive back. How about Ellis Robinson is asked in the chat. I thought Ellis Robinson had a good day. Thought Colby Young got him once. Zacoby got him once, but in both situations, Ellis is hip to hip, hands into the ball, trying to dislodge the football. So there's that. Now, this is what I love about the idea that, 45,000 people were here today, which means there's 45,000 different opinions. I heard Hezekiah played well. Hezekiah is not listed on the pass attempts stat. Did I miss a Hezekiah pass? He only had 1 drive. Okay, so there's that. Again, conflicting reports. I got called an idiot on our YouTube comments yesterday. Somebody said, "This is how I know Brooks Austin is the dumbest dude on the planet. He had Coulter Jinn as the number 3 quarterback, when very clearly it's Hezekiah Melander." No, it is not. No, it is not. Coulter Jinn is the 3rd string quarterback right now, and he's a walk-on. And then it's Melander, and then it's Montgomery. And by October, it'll probably be Montgomery over Melander. So there's that. What else? Keep firing off those questions. How did Daniel Harris do? I thought he did really good. I thought he denied the football really well. I don't remember 7 getting nabbed on very much today. I think, obviously the corner room this year, I think the best thing that could have happened for Georgia from a retention standpoint is the fact that Dalen Everett was not available this spring. I think there is nothing better for the University of Georgia than the fact that we're going to leave this spring and Ellis Robinson, Daniel Harris, and DeMello Jones are going to feel as if they got one's reps for 15 days, for 15 practices. That is, I don't want to say invaluable, but it is a tremendous value considering the portal opens in 4 days. All right, so if they would have came out here day 1 of spring ball, and for a fact Dalen Everett is one of the guys, and it limits reps for everybody else, I think there would have, been some type of, I think people would have felt some type of way right there. I do want to say this. You're going to see clips, okay? You're going to see video. Other people might use video. Other TV stations might use video of this G-Day scrimmage. On this network, I'm not getting any phone calls from anybody saying, "Why in the hell are you breaking down offensive line tape from our G-Day game on your live stream?" Or "Why in the hell are you showing clips from our G-Day scrimmage when you know you're not supposed to?" So I ain't going to be doing it. I know y'all expect to come to this network and see some type of film breakdown. Unfortunately, we ain't going to have that this spring, okay? We're not going to have an ability for me to break down what happened at G-Day other than what we're doing right now, other than what we will continue to do on Monday, other than what we will continue to do the rest of the spring as, these topics start to get delved out. But I'm not going to get a, "Hey, what the hell are you doing on your channel?" phone call this coming up week. So I've decided that. I hope you guys can kind of respect that. How are our wide receivers doing? Keep up the work, bro. Wide receivers balled today. I felt like I mentioned at the start, I felt like the DBs did a really good job at denying the football in the first half, but things really started to open up for the offense in the second half, particularly down the field. So there is that. Did you hear Noah Thomas named? How did he do? I don't think Noah played in the second half. In fact, I think I saw him without a helmet on the second half. So not that he was hurt. I think that's hey, we know who you are. You and Zachariah go stand over there off to the side. So Kirby said he had an AC joint. Talking about Noah? Yeah. All right. So Noah Thomas had an AC joint sprain. I guess that he might have. Did he sustain it today, Ryan? Okay. So either way, there's that. I think he's going to be fine moving forward. Everything I've heard from the spring says he's going to be good. Honest opinion, do you think this team will be more successful than last year's team? How do you define success? Do you define success as if they don't win an SEC championship, they're not as good as they were last year? Um, I don't I don't know how that is. I don't know if that's necessarily fair. I think offensively they have a chance to be better because of the weaponry that they have. I do believe their run game is going to take a step forward. It didn't show it today because the quarterback wasn't running, but I expect the quarterback's legs to be used. It's the second time I've seen in the chat about an update on Nitro Tuggle. I think you get your update on Nitro Tuggle in 4 days. We all good there? All right, I think we're all good there. Let's see here. Do you think they'll utilize Branch more this season? Seems like they didn't do much with him today. Yeah. Also, I think Kirby mentioned today he was banged up. Zachariah Branch was limited. I think he said he didn't practice very much the last week. Say what? Yeah, he didn't play last Saturday, and I think he was relatively limited today as well. So there's that. Just joined in. How did the quarterbacks do? As Kirby said, thought they did some good things, thought they did some bad things. I didn't see any terrible decisions. Like you're going to hear about Ryan Puglisi throwing an interception today. I thought it was a bad ball, but Kirby comes in here and says the wide receiver busted on the route. So the wide receiver busted on a route. I ain't going to sit here and talk shit about the quarterback throwing an interception. Okay. So there's that. Man, I can't rave enough about Zacoby White in that wide receiver room. I don't know if there's a better combination of explosivity and natural hands than what Zacoby's got going on. That guy is really, really good. So there's that. Who do you think the wide receiver starters will be? I think you're going to, by end of, so it's two different discussions. It's the discussion in August and it's the discussion come, September, October, December. Right now, if they had to play, I think there's a rotation of bodies out there, right? It's Colby Young, it's London Humphreys, it's Zachariah Branch, it's Dylan Bell. And then after that, it's the younger guys, right? It's CJ Wiley, it's Talon Taylor. It's Talon Taylor, and guys like that. So I do think they're in a much better spot at the wide receiver position than they have been in years prior. Is Jeremy Bell Dylan's brother? He was so quick off the line. That is a running back. He was playing running back today. So there's that. How is the defensive line in the twos? I like Nnamdi Agboko as a nose tackle. I like Jordan Thomas. I like Nasir Johnson. I like all of those guys. But I do think the room, especially when Kristen's not out there, the room on the interior defensive line lacks twitch. Like it lacks a real explosive. Like I don't think there is a Devontae Wyatt on this roster. Like the guy that can, bust through the line of scrimmage, make a TFL on wide zone, and now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 13. I don't know how much of that is on this roster right now on the interior of the defensive line. But it's been like that for 2 years now. They didn't have that last year. I thought Warren was that at times, but half the time when Warren got in the backfield, he got run right by him. Just a failure to unzip his feet, things like that. I do like JJ Haney, the kid from Germany that, played out in California. Man, he plays with his hair on fire. He made a couple plays today as well. So that. Let's see here. Who was playing on that ones unit with the D-line? It was Xavier McLeod. It was Jordan Thomas, I want to say, and Quintavious Johnson, and I can't even remember who started at Jack. It was a defensive line-wise, it was a really, really big rotation. Those guys flipped jerseys quite a bit today. Strongest part of the team, in your opinion, probably linebacker. Today it was the DB play. I thought today it was corner and safety play and denying the football for the first half. I think this fall it's probably going to be, I don't want to say your wide receiver core because you guys get a little bit crazy about that. I do too, because you just don't believe it. You don't buy into the hype. But probably linebacker or maybe tight end, stuff like that. Jordan Hall played today. Jordan Hall played all spring, did a really good job. Now, I can see why Bo Walker was a 3-star when I watched today's scrimmage in person. There's no top-end speed there, guys. Great runner of the football. Great runner of the football. If there are 6 yards available, he's going to get 9. Okay? But if there are 60 yards available, I don't know if Bo Walker's taking it to the cribbo. But that's okay. Okay? I just think we're closer to a Dejon Edwards comp than we are a DeAndre Swift comp. And that's okay. You know, like if you get another Dejon Edwards as a 3-star high school recruit and he plays meaningful snaps for you and takes meaningful carries for you for 3 years, what more do you want, right? I think the difference between Bo Walker and Chauncey Bowens is 230 pounds and runs 10.8. Like, he is an explosive human being. So there's that. Do you agree with not broadcasting the game? Guys, I don't think a single SEC team broadcasted their spring game this year. So I'm not going to sit here and tell Kirby Smart that he got to do something that Kentucky ain't doing. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell him that he needs to do something that, hell, Vandy ain't even doing. So, no, I understand the need to hide it behind closed doors. I made the joke earlier. It's to keep Coulter Ginn on the roster. But nah, so there's that. Justin Williams did have a big play on a screen, blew that up. Another question about Melander. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I just think there's a lot of people waiting around right now to see what happens with House versus NCAA, and nobody really knows what's going on with it. Why didn't teams broadcast this year? Transfer portal reasons? ? Yeah, I think that's what most people blame it on. They don't want their roster getting poached. They don't want, like there's a walk-on corner from Peach County, like in the 3 deep right now for Georgia. No business. I mean, again, needs to be playing at Western Kentucky. Needs to be starting at Western Kentucky. But he's walking on to Georgia because that's how it be. I think it's more roster protection than anything else. I think the pure canceling of spring games that we've seen is a budget cut type of deal. These spring games are massive losers for these financial departments. So I think a lot of teams decided they were going to cut them. All right, we're going to handle a couple more questions. How many quarterbacks did UGA lose to the portal yesterday? None. I don't think anybody hits the portal out of the quarterback position. People want my thoughts on Nico. I'll give my thoughts on Nico real quick to close the stream. I am so glad that one of these coaches finally called the bluff. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that one of these coaches finally looked at a player in his face and said, you know what? I would rather go 8-4 than be held hostage by your goddamn agent. You can get the hell out of here, and you can go transfer to USC if you want to, or you can go transfer to UCLA. I don't care. I would rather go 8-4 than to let you walk in here with a loaded gun and think that understands that ain't the way it's going to roll. We can't be doing it like that. So appreciate you guys for being here, man. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you. For Brooks Austin, for the homie Ryan Curley back there kicking it, doing some work. We'll see you guys next time.